Hello everyone, good evening and welcome to Roma Theory, long-term future with De Rossi. Will it be the solution according to the Fredkins? What will our long-term plan look like? Who will be our general director? And ultimately, what will this summer's transfer window look like? These are all questions that we're going to try and break through in this video, focusing on what the direction that the Fredkins want to pick Roma into and bring it towards is. There are definitely some delays because we still, 1 month after the last time we mentioned this, we still don't have a general director, and therefore it's complicated to understand what the project is going to look like. But I think there's one certainty up to now, and that certainty is called Daniele De Rossi. That is a certainty that the Fredkins chose. That is a certainty that is very central to Roma right now and could be the solution moving forward. The fans absolutely adore him. Ryan Fredkin apparently has a very good relationship with him. The players absolutely adore him, and he is grinding results, which ultimately is what you look when you want to build a future. So the one certainty that we have is Daniele De Rossi. I cannot lie, we cannot lie. It is because he's performing really well and he's convinced and kind of, proved a lot of people wrong, including a lot of us. You know, it's normal because nobody was expecting De Rossi to have such an impact. But we're going to speak about these things today because I think this is, again, international break, chilled. How is everybody doing? Peace, y'all. Yo. How you doing, y'all? A bit of a relaxation. No Roma for a bit. How are we doing? I feel my nose feels so clogged today. That is very random, but my nose feels clogged. You know. I think it's the allergy season is coming up. I'm allergic to pollen. Please don't think it looks like, to be honest with you, if you look my eyes real close, it looked like I smoked something. But trust me, I did not. I don't smoke and I hate smoking. I'm just allergic to pollen. And the pollen season is unfortunately starting, but you don't care about that. Let me quickly set a like target and then we'll delve into this stream, should we? 100 likes, new season, we stay here, new season, new project, this community remains here through yet another project. So 100 likes would be absolutely amazing. Hit the like, takes 2 seconds, free of cost, and it supports, you don't know how much it supports all of us. So that's your job tonight. Where do we start? Manager, players, general director. Let's start with the general director. Let's get it out of the way because we still do not have a general director. Do I think this is worrying? Part of me believes, and this is a theory that I have, but part of me believes that we already have a general director, but the Fredkins aren't officiating the move because they want to wait. But part of me believes that we already have somebody behind the scenes who is sorting deals out. They just won't give the official statement right now because they want to wait. I wouldn't understand why they would wait. There we go, an alarm went off. Check for the burglars, call the neighbors, call an ambulance. That is gonna be annoying, you know. Please stop. Please, let's pray this alarm stops because I cannot be asked doing 20 minutes with this sound in the background. Check the burglars. Call the police. This is gonna be painful. Hopefully it stops, but that won't stop us. Yeah, part of me believes that something is already happening behind the scenes, and I hope, because otherwise there are gonna be delays in the projectual side of this summer's transfer window, and on this introducing the new project, there are gonna be delays. Now, if there's one thing that we do really need to avoid is delays, because as always, I always look at the teams that we're competing against, and I always feel like we just fall into this well and we're so slow to react and so slow and so poor at programming things, and compared to the teams that we need to compete at time of speaking, we should be competing at time of speaking, and we will definitely compete against in the next 10 years. You know, I look at how Inter deals with stuff, I look at how Milan deals with stuff, even Juventus, and even the clubs like Atalanta, Fiorentina, which, yes, are smaller clubs than us, but on some aspects they feel bigger than us, because you look at Fiorentina, you look at the training ground that they kind of released a few years ago. It costed them an absolute fortune, but it shows that they care about their infrastructure, they care about how the players train, and that has positive impacts. Look at Fiorentina. They're going to be playing the Conference League final this season yet again after last season. They're going to do it. And in fact, unpopular opinion, Fiorentina are going to lift it this season. Because Fiorentina, I'm not a massive fan of Fiorentina. They've always been that club which I don't like. No love, no hate. But if there's one thing that every single football fan needs to admire about Fiorentina, is their sense of fighting despite all of the tragedies that go around them. Astori back in 2020. Yesterday, Joe Barone. This team, this season, is gonna lift the Conference League in the name of Davide Astori and Joe Barone. Clip this, because in football, these are the moments which just are above everything. The sense of desire that these players are gonna grind over the second half of the season is gonna be massive. Because they're gonna lift it for these two people, which unfortunately have passed away. And I also look at Atalanta, you know, the way they deal with the youth sector. The fact that them and Juventus are the only teams in Italy which have an under-23 next gen to grow players. Pop that team in Serie C and let it grow, let it grind results. Let these young players get a touch of competitive games instead of just friendly games. I see teams that are better prepared than us. I see us, yes, we have a serious owners. We have a serious owner because they do things, but they don't make themselves loud. And that, in my opinion, is very important. And it's how an owner should rule a club. Under some aspects. Under other aspects, of course, you want to hear them. You want to hear their thoughts, their opinions. But on the majority of aspects, I would much rather have an owner who doesn't speak and is invisible than somebody like De Laurentiis, who follows the team to Barcelona for a Champions League game, goes in front of a journalist and starts shouting and pushing him away because the player isn't allowed to have interviews with that television broadcast. That is what a loser football club does. And this is a serious ownership. You know, this is an ownership which the decisions that they make, yes, some of them initially, like for example the Mourinho sacking, was unpopular, but then you look at things and you're like, they make decisions for the best of this football club, and that next step is getting to the Champions League, no doubt. But there's always this sense of delay. There's always this sense of, what am I waiting for? Find a general director. And in terms of who the next general director will be, I do not have a clue. And one thing that I would say, however, is I want it to be an Italian guy. Not because I'm patriotic and I don't want foreign players, foreign people in my club. No, absolutely not. But the reason I want an Italian director is because recently at this football club, foreign directors have not worked out. From Tiago Pinto to Monchi. Recently, we've been sticking with this idea that the general director needs to be foreign because he knows more about international football. We need somebody who knows about Italian football. So I really hope that we dig away this concept of foreign directors because they've got a better scouting department. I hope we dig that away. I hope we dig that down like a cat digs their own shit. You know, that is, yeah, I don't like this. I want somebody who knows about the culture of Italian football and has a good scouting department, is Italian, knows this league more than anybody else, and can give good insights to what players to buy and everything else. So that is what I want. But in terms of general director, again, we can't we can be here speaking about the bloom because it's still not there. Manager is the most important thing because manager right now in the programming of our new season is and one of the few certainties. De Rossi will extend his contract. Ryan Fredkin, the son of Dan, has a very good relationship with him. And I think the way De Rossi has proven to work is not only outstanding on the football pitch because he's grinding results. You know, he won every single game apart from that Inter game, knocked Feyenoord out, knocked Brighton out. But the other thing is he is phenomenal at communication. He is phenomenal. He is such an intelligent human being. I was very young when I last followed De Rossi. You know, when you're young, I appreciated De Rossi because I appreciated De Rossi more than Totti, back in this Totti De Rossi context. But when you're younger, you don't really understand how precious De Rossi actually is. De Rossi is smart. De Rossi is intelligent. Before speaking in front of the microphones, De Rossi already knows what he's gonna say. And that, in my opinion, is massive for the ambience of the players. The players, again, it's early. Of course it's early, and it's normal for the players to love life, early life, with De Rossi. But personally, he's one of those managers which I cannot see the team going against. Not because of the name he has and what it means to this club, but why would you go against De Rossi? Because there are managers which crucify players, and we know something about that. And then it's normal for a player to go against a manager who crucifies players. But De Rossi will never say in front of the microphones, he's terrible, it's his fault. And in my opinion, that is how successful football teams and successful football players, that's a big part of how these successful football teams are born. So I'm confident about this. The 20th of March, 2024, De Rossi needs to extend that contract. And may I add, I want it to be a long-term contract. Am I hyped when I say this because De Rossi still hasn't lost many games? Absolutely. Am I basing this judgment on the result that I have seen recently, that De Rossi polling? Absolutely. But long term, I think this is the project that we need to follow. Again, you need stability. Can I ask a question? Who wants to change manager at the end of the season? For me, wanting a new manager at the end of is just not understanding the concept of stability. If we keep on changing a football manager, where will we ever go? What direction will we follow? We need to stick with somebody, back him, give him time, and I'm convinced that the results will come. Why is it that, I always say this, don't compare the Premier League to the Serie A, but why is Liverpool successful? Because Klopp has been there for the past, 8 years. Why is Arsenal all of a sudden building something strong? Because they backed Arteta and now they want to keep him. You're building a team around him, around his ideas, around the players that he asks for in the transfer window. Sticking to the Serie A, why is Inter so successful? Because Inzaghi has been sticking there for the past 4 years. The only managers in the history of this game that I could name that have been sticking for a long time at a football club and aren't really grinding results the more they go are Simeone at Atletico Madrid and maybe Allegri at Juventus. These are managers that I think need to go because the cycle is over. But if you keep changing manager every single every 3 years, what will it bring? You know, you've got players that manager X wanted in your team. And then you sack manager X and you appoint manager Y. And manager Y needs to play with the players that manager X asked for. And then you start building a project, long-term project, around manager Y. You need to clear all the players that manager X wanted because manager Y doesn't want them anymore. You need to build a new project around manager Y. And then you sack manager Y. And then you appoint manager Z, and manager Z needs to play with the players that manager Y wanted. And if you keep on changing manager every 3 years, this cycle will never stop. Because we need to clear away the players. We need to restore from fresh. We need to buy. We need to reach objectives. We need to set objectives. We will never be out of this infinite failing cycle, which is not bringing results. We need to stick with somebody. Back him. Financially, yes, that's why we need Champions League football. We need to back his football tactics. We need to have a group of players which are ready to understand, play, just get down playing under these tactics. Just like that, you're going to be a successful football team. If you keep changing after 3 years, look at the managers that we sacked. Fonseca lasted 2 years. Mourinho lasted 2 years and a half. Di Francesco lasted 2 years. Spalletti lasted 2 years. Ranieri got called in, and he stayed there for like 5 months until De Rossi retired, and then he ended the season. Why aren't we winning league titles? Why are we never in a race for league titles? Why are we not playing in the Champions League in recent times? Because we keep changing this. We sack managers over managers over managers, and that is not going to bring absolutely anything. Anything. So stick with De Rossi. And in fact, in my opinion, the extension needs to come, maybe not tomorrow. Yes, test him for a few more games. But, oh my god, my hair. Lord, I look like a rhinoceros just let out from his cage. I need to cut my hair, y'all. My hair is absolutely disgusting today. Anyways. So yeah, you get the point. Stability. Have you ever seen a circus without a clown? No, because a circus without a clown is a zoo. What builds up a circus is the clown. It's not the animals. It's the clown. Why is the clown at the center of the attention in a circus? Because that is what a circus is. If you're only there stuck with animals, then you might call that a zoo. Don't call it a circus, call it a zoo. A circus is called a circus because it's got a clown in the middle of it. That's a weird analogy, but you can't call a successful football team a team which has been changing managers every 3 years. Because this mathematical equation doesn't fit, doesn't equate to zero. So that's the way I see it. I think we need to stick with a manager, in this case De Rossi, and move forward with him, move forward vertically, horizontally, and because again, at the end of the season, are we really gonna blame De Rossi if we don't get Champions League football? Who would blame De Rossi if we don't get Champions League football? I think nobody would blame De Rossi. Nobody would have the balls to blame De Rossi, and nobody would have the pride to blame De Rossi, because it won't be his fault if we don't get Champions League football. If we don't, I've said this previously, but if we don't get Champions League football, you blame the players or you blame Mourinho. You cannot blame De Rossi. You cannot blame De Rossi. So, again, players, I think, again, it's very hard to speak about players and who we want to buy, who we should buy when we don't know who our director is, our director of football, because ultimately our director of football is the guy who orchestrates our summer window, the director of football is the guy who initiates negotiations, calls with agents and all of that. So having no director isn't helpful to understand where we want to lead this team to, what project we want to follow. But I think a big priority is something tells me that there's gonna be a revolution in the summer, a revolution where De Rossi's gonna stay, Indica, Mancini, Pellegrini, Svilor and Dybala are gonna stay, and Cristante maybe, but the rest could leave. You know, I get the impression that the Fredkins lately have become more radical. Not in an authoritarian way, but you look at some of the things that have been happening inside Trigoria lately suggest to me that the Fredkins, after they sacked Mourinho, they're more radical. They're more, well, I don't care. It's your fault. You leave. There's been this event. Apparently, it's been mentioned a few weeks ago. Maybe it's not directly coming from the Fredkins, but somebody up there in the Roma ownership asked every single worker who works at Roma via an anonymous email to kind of ask every person who works inside Trigoria to send and confirm their CVs to see if they're actually competent people working inside and being part of this football club. A few days ago, you know, it's gone. The news has gone worldwide that Roma have sacked and fired this lady who was working inside Trigoria because she filmed a porn video, and this porn video got leaked by an under 19 youth player, and yet the Fredkins and the owner and Roma in general decided to fire her. You know, some of these decisions don't make sense. Some of these decisions are embarrassing, and some of these decisions are radical. You know, you can't fire a lady who works at Trigoria because she filmed a porn video. She can do whatever she wants. The guy who needs to be fired is the kid who leaked that video. It's not her. So, yeah, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's that little criticisms that they received after they sacked Mourinho, which they didn't digest properly. But it feels like there's a revolution ambience aura around Trigoria, where I think a lot of players risk their spot this summer, especially if we don't get Champions League football. If we don't get Champions League football, I see a lot of players leave the club. If we get Champions League football, then I think De Rossi and this short-term, moving towards long-term project will continue. But if we don't get UCL, then I think it's another confirmation that the Fredkins are going to go all in, revolutionize this club and build it around De Rossi. Maybe not even convinced that they would extend Dybala's contract. Big priority in terms of players is understanding what De Rossi wants in terms of formation, in terms of the players, and moving in the transfer window according to De Rossi's ideas. If De Rossi wants to play with wingers and wants to play with a 4-3-3, then there is no need for us to buy an extremely defensive midfielder, because we don't play with holding midfielders. We play with fast, agile, box-to-box mids. So a lot of these decisions also need to come in handy to understand what our transfer window is going to look like. We need to know if De Rossi is going to stay, or we're going to appoint a new manager. Will he be your manager? Because the more we know these things and the more we have answers to these questions, the quicker we can plan. If De Rossi stays and De Rossi wants to play with a 4-3-3, then we should be aiming in buying wingers, quality fullbacks. And the switch changes. So, you see what I mean? It's very early to speak about players, naming players, because it's we don't have a director. We don't know who a manager will be at the end of the season, even though I think it's going to be De Rossi, but we still don't have a confirmation. So, before naming players, we need to understand where we want to move to and who will we be moved to under in terms of manager. Now, It's about sorting the base problems. Because at the end of the day, to plant a seed, you need water. To start a new project at this football club, you need answers. So you need answers to these questions. Who will the general director be? Why? When? But? Maybe? Revolution? No revolution? De Rossi? No De Rossi? You know, the 20th of March, yes, I understand that the priority shouldn't be this, but we should be moving towards already focusing on next season. We've programmed the friendly tournay in the summer. We're all flying to Australia. We're playing against Milan at what's it called? Octopus Arena? Something like that. You know, we're programming these things, which are great because preseason is fundamental. But if we're programming these things, so we're flying to Australia, then we might be flying to the US and all of that, then why aren't we programming the base of things, which is who the director will be, who the next manager will be? And I know that to answer these questions, we need to continue grinding results, but I'll always follow the same idea, even if we don't get UCL at the end of the season. You can't blame De Rossi because we don't get UCL. You know, at the end of the day, you can't send De Rossi, you can't not extend De Rossi's contract because the team isn't playing in the Champions League, because it will never be his fault. So, again, now that we've got an international break, it's the time to sort some of these things out. And we'll see if we do have updates. But, yeah, I mean, what do we think? The kid should be the one who is in trouble. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Right, I'm gonna end it here. I'm gonna catch you tomorrow with a new stream, with a new video. Tomorrow's Thursday. Wednesday, Italy's playing tomorrow, right? Against Ecuador. So we'll see if Pellegrini and Mancini might grab a few performances. Maybe a goal. I mean, I expect a goal from Pellegrini. He's been playing so well that you kind of expect something from him tomorrow in the friendly game. I mean, it's a friendly game. Who gives an absolute shit, to be honest with you? But yeah, look, I'm going to catch you tomorrow. If you enjoyed today's video, don't hesitate to hit the like and subscribe to the channel. I set the like target at the start of the video. 100 likes would be absolutely amazing. You know what? No, in fact, you know what? Let's go with 90 likes. International break. I know it's a boring period, so I'm gonna lower it a bit. 90 likes would be absolutely amazing. I know you can hit it. You're one strong-ass family, and I love you all. Yeah, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Oh, you know what? By the way, last thing. And this is a question. I'm planning the Milan trip to try and go see Roma, right? But my question here is, the away tickets for Milan still haven't been released. But in worst case scenarios that I don't manage to get a ticket in the away end at San Siro for the Milan game, which is going to be hard, but let's say worst case scenarios, I'm not going to get one because everybody wants to go there and the tickets are going to go sold out because the away end at San Siro isn't massive. So worst case scenarios, let's say I don't get one because they go sold out. Do I get a ticket in the neutral stand at San Siro around Milan fans, or do I just stay in Rome and do a watch along? Because I'd love to go. I'd love to go, not just because to film the video and stuff, but it's a trip. It could be a trip. You never know what happens. So, what do I do? Let me know in the comments of this video. I'm stuck because, yes, the away end might go sold out very quick, but the Milan section, I will definitely be able to find a ticket there. I don't know what to do. The more I wait, the more the train tickets go up. I'll reflect on this, but yeah. Yeah, let me know in the comments of this video what you think. Hit the like, subscribe, talk to you soon, enjoy, and yeah. See you out.